them if I could. And something tells me that I should, that I should, that I should.
Welcome to Life After Bay, the podcast for all life and love forms of Arcadia Bay and beyond. I'm your host Martin, as known as It's Me Maxine. This time I will interview Biscuit from Retrozone Studios again, and we will talk about the feedback of their visual novel Life is Strange Aftermath, all the changes that happened to the team in the meantime, and what challenges they faced. Also what will be covered in the new episode, and what not. As you may have noticed, I haven't published a new episode in roughly half a year. I had a hard time here and I had to face a lot of challenges myself. I wanted so badly to continue this podcast as I love all the fans and the community so much, and I have so much wonderful people I wanted to interview in the future. So I made the first step with this episode. By the way, in my next episode I will interview Neeko, as known as Neekowa, a young artist from the Philippines which I totally like for their alternate universe reverse punk mags. So stay tuned for that. Kudos again to Christina, as known as Riley Hawk, for letting me use her Life is Strange inspired music for the podcast, R3 Tears for the new podcast cover, and Olya Rue for the original cover. Now to the interview with Biscuit. Thanks again for joining the Life After Bay podcast, Biscuit. I know it's almost 4 months or 5 months since we last spoke about your game you did with your team, with the Retrozone Studios. And welcome to the podcast again. And we are all excited because, of course, we played already the first episode. Now we are eager to learn more and maybe we can give you some feedback. And then I have some questions for you. So, for those who don't know you or haven't heard the first episode, maybe you can tell us something about yourself, some short introduction.
Right, I can do that. So first of all, again, thank you for having me. It's really fun talking about the game and stuff. Mostly because most of the process you do it like alone. So it's cool to always like come out and talk with people. Again, if some people are listening because we got a ton of new followers on Twitter, for example, and on Tumblr from the last time. Hello, I am Biscuit. I've been just yesterday I posted a tweet about a live stream that I did with one of my friends who is like the menu artist for the game. So some of you may have already heard my voice. I am Biscuit. I've been working on this game ever since like November of 2021. So mostly in writing, and then we did the coding and programming. It's been a long process. I used to think that making a visual novel was going to be way easier, but it's a lot of work. I am the main guy that wrote everything. I did not do any of the coding. I tried doing it myself for a while, and I'm sure we're going to like go down that path with the questions. But for now, just know that I am the guy. Every single word that you see on screen, I wrote it and I suffered through it. So that is me.
Okay, of course. You released it on, I think, 3rd of March. And I think it was released on itch.io, and a lot of people downloaded and played it. And as you said, some parts are changing. Some members of your team, I think, aren't on the track anymore on the team.
Right.
I just read it on Twitter, I think, or you already posted it, I think, on Twitter and on other channels, that Como, I think, did the programming and he can't join the team anymore. So you had the problem that, as you said, you tried coding, but I think there was some change, right?
Yeah. So the one thing with coding is that it's really hard, mainly because I'm not familiar with computers and anything technical.
Mm-hmm.
So I released the game on the 3rd of March. Thank God that we were able to do it because that is like the date of my birthday. So I was really happy because I wanted to like just do it that day.
Yeah.
It took us, and you know that also resulted in like a lot of crunching. A lot of people may not know about it, but Como and I back in the day, we spent like days.
Mm.
So we would like start a call in Discord at 8 p.m. and we would finish at like 4 a.m.
Uh-oh.
And then we had to wake up at like 6 a.m. for work and school. Those were terrible days. So you know it's admirable the amount of work that he did. Mostly because like you know
Mm.
it's a mess. And yes, I tried doing coding for a while, but coding is incredibly hard. I cannot do it. And Como is no longer working with us. Well, working with me and the rest of the team because you know we do have a team.
Mm.
Um, even if they are not actively doing the writing or like the coding, they still do the art and they make the backbone of the game. So
Mhm.
you know they are on the credits, on the credit scene of the game. If you go to credits, you'll see them. I usually talk about them and post the art that they make. Some of them have what is it called? Social media accounts that you can follow. Some of them don't, mainly because they don't have them. So you know, but they are
Mm.
still mentioned. And yeah, we have a new guy on the team, but we can talk about it later.
Okay. Yeah, cool. So I think that's I haven't programmed. I have programmed, but no game. So I know that the team is always changing. So I think that's normal. But yeah, sure, it gives new problems or new challenges to fulfill the the goal of the project. Yeah, sure. So yeah, as you said, programming is done by I don't know if it's a new member, but yeah. How was it going with the programming then? If you said you don't do it anymore, so who is it? Who is doing the programming, the coding then?
So mainly, I never did the programming at any point. I tried doing it. I could not understand it. My coder Como did leave me like a little guide on how to do it,
Mm-hmm.
but I do not know how to do it, even with that thing. And then I opened RenPy, and it has like a tutorial, and it's incredibly hard. So I don't want to do it. The game was basically like in limbo for a while because even if I already had chapter 2 done, so people need to know that the game was like written really, really, really early, like into development. So, for example, chapter 1, the ones that you guys played, it was already done by like December.
Mm-hmm.
But that was like when me and Como were just like, yeah, wouldn't it be cool to just do like a little fanfic kind of visual novel? Um, and then we did it by like December. He read it. He told me that he liked it, and then chapter 2 was already done ever since like January. But then I didn't have a coder for like through March till like 2 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I couldn't like do anything with the game. So it was really, really hard to like think about what I was going to do, finding coders. Then we had some problems with the art. But the new guy that is helping our team is called Rami. They are going to be included in the next build of the game. The credits I could not include them chapter 1 because it would be like just patching the whole thing just to add a little name.
Mm-hmm.
They did give me a each itch.io account that you guys can follow and check out, and you guys should really do that because if it weren't for them, we would not have chapter 2 at all.
Mm.
It would be impossible. So I know that last time you asked me for like the socials of the team members, so I can give you their itch.io page, so you can put that in the description. And I'll also be posting them on Twitter shortly after finishing this interview.
Okay, then congrats for your new team member then. And as you said, you are on Patreon and on itch.io where you released the game. So I know nobody talks about financial stuff, and as you said, I think in the former interview, that it's not the main goal to make money of it. So just it's a fun project, and but sure, how is it going on Patreon and itch.io? So are there people contributing or leaving you guys some financial stuff there?
So on the financial side, the entire game, at least the beginning, was made with our money.
Mm-hmm.
So anything you see in chapter 1 is out of our own pockets. Some of it comes from me working as a freelancer and writing because I've been writing some visual novels. I have like this one that I'm a part of, and it's a really big project, and it's really fucking cool. And I hope that I can, put it up next time that I tweet. And Como from like a job that he had, a lot of it really came down to it being a fun passion project, but with a lot of investment. And I am not afraid, and I'm not saying that it was not worth it, but I'm not afraid of saying that technically we didn't make a lot of that money back. Chapter 1 was really expensive to make, considering that we didn't get a lot back. We did get a generous amount, and that generous amount, again, thanks to everyone that has been supporting us. The game and all of the payments that we've gotten, they go through itch.io and through Buy Me a Coffee. That page is really cool. I like the layout, so that's the one I use. Although I've been thinking about putting up a Patreon page too. And the money that we've gotten, with that money, we were able to buy the assets to make Chapter 2. So some of the content that we got were like, for example, new sprites to the already existing ones, new sprites for like a new character that we're putting in chapter 2, but I'll talk about it later. We got like a new CG. For example, one thing that was lacking and like a really big moment was Max and Chloe's kiss during the storm at the end of the game, and we got a CG for that. We got a CG for Steph, Mikey, and Max playing Dungeons and Dragons, and we got a CG for Max and Kate having a tea date. It's not a spoiler because I posted the CGs back on Twitter like months ago, so and all of it really comes down to like people being generous enough to like give us invest in our game and just see it grow. They get nothing back, and that all of that money has been put into CGs and stuff. So thanks to all of you for supporting us.
So, as you said, you have no programming, new coder on the team. So, is there any? I think I asked it last time. Is there any support or help needed from the community, or are you fine at the moment?
So the only thing is that we really don't have a budget right now. All of the money we've already spent it on like the backgrounds and doing the CGs and doing the sprites. But again, I don't think there's anything that we really need. The only thing that will change and that we needed extra support on was that for the Mikey sprites that you guys are going to see, because he is indeed a part of chapter 2. He is going to be made by a different artist. Who is going to be Ari. She's a part of our team as a background artist. So on that part, you guys might notice a big change or like a small change. I don't know. I haven't seen them myself. We're still working on the game. Like as we speak, I have like Rami coding, and I have my artist doing this, and we have a new menu that we're trying to do. We're doing a lot of things, but I don't think we need anything specifically. I was for a while considering voice acting in the game. But for now, I think I'm going to like just put that off for a bit. It's kind of hard to implement it into coding too. It's kind of tough, and we're focusing on like more technical aspects, like multiple endings. Changing the menu that is a little bit more interactive, so that you guys get some extra stuff. Just adding things to make the already existing game better. So we don't need support, but if you guys want to help us and give us some more support, be monetarily or like followers, that really makes for it. But again, we don't really need anything. Also, our programmer is already a volunteer, so I think I've got as much support as I think I can get.
Cool. I'm not sure if I'm asking this question now, but maybe we can postpone it. But I think everyone is very excited to see the new part, as you said, new chapter. But as you said, as you are programming right now, and as you checking to get everything done, I don't even try. Maybe I can you can tell when you maybe plan on releasing it, or what's your rough plan for the new chapter?
So the one thing is that I put up like an early date, which was like July the 30th. But then with my programmer, we were talking, and they told me, we can do a different menu, and then we can get a better credit scene, and then we can get the supporters, like the guys that have given money to the game, on the credits. And then we could get new art on this, and then we could do multiple endings. And in order to do all that, if I were to if I had released the game on like the 30th, not only would the script not be as polished, but we would be missing a lot of things. So one of the tough things with making a Life is Strange based game is decisions. People love Life is Strange and The Walking Dead and The Wolf Among Us, for example,
Mm-hmm.
because they have decisions and decisions matter. So, like for example, you make a little dialogue. You say, I don't know, I want to give you this for your birthday, and then 10 chapters later, the guy remembers that you said that, right? And we
Mm-hmm.
want to do that. So we want to like add some extra polish to the game, and we want to, make things better. We wanted to get the Mikey sprites because if I had released it on the 30th, we would have deleted like him from the game. So it all comes down to I'm sorry for not being able to deliver, but I promise that we're getting a lot of extra stuff. We're getting a lot of things. I'll talk about them later, like more in depth. However, we do not have a specific date to release it. In my mind, the script we're almost done with like refining some things within it because we have to assign the poses. We have to like assign key choices. Like for example, hey, you chose this at the beginning, you get this at
Mm-hmm.
the end, right? Um, so it should take us like 2 weeks, 3 more weeks, depending on how fast we work. It's just we have real life responsibilities and we have some extra stuff. It's tough. However, you guys should be seeing it, I think, by the end of the month or the beginning of August.
Mm-hmm.
It shouldn't be too long for what you guys are going to get.
Yeah, sure. Quality comes, sure. And I think everyone understands that this is a fun project and not yeah, it's done voluntarily, yeah, in parallel to your normal jobs and school and stuff and studying. So I think everyone is fine with that, absolutely. So and we are absolutely fine with it when decisions matter. So yeah, we are excited to see what you guys will show in chapter 2. So just before we come to the game itself and maybe the first chapter, you said the community, you get a lot of new followers and a lot of people are checking in on you. How's the community going? And yeah, I think you have a Twitter and Tumblr and Discord. And how's it going?
So on the side of the community, how should I put it? So I think there's like three kinds of people. The guys that played it, the guys that watched people play,
Mm-hmm.
and the guys that hate it. Those are like
Wow. Okay.
uh because there are people that really don't like it. But I don't mind. It's at the end of the day, writing it's art. And it's really pretentious to call what I'm doing art, but technically, that's what writing is, right?
Yeah.
And that's one of the dangers that comes with writing like something based on a game that a lot of people played and that changed a lot of people's lives. So I can confirm approximately that 1,750 people played, according to what the itch.io statistics say. I cannot give any other statistics on it because apparently I can get banned. So I can just say the players though. And then we had, for example, this one channel that uploaded full gameplay of it, and like 1,200 people watched it. Then we had like 2 days after, we had like Russian and Portuguese sites, well, Brazilian sites, like put articles about the game.
Mm-hmm.
And itch.io has given me a lot of statistics of where people are coming from, and a lot of them are Russian and French.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm.
The community is very diverse, and I like that.
Mhm.
My favorite side of the community is on Twitter because they engage the most. On Tumblr, we have some cool people, but they don't interact that much. Tumblr is not a very popular site.
Mhm.
And we have people on Coffee, such as you and some other guys, that they are really nice and they have given me very supportive messages. People on the Discord that seem to be interested in seeing the game come rise again. So the community is going fine, and I like it. Obviously, there has been like a slowdown, like a really big slowdown, because we didn't get news for the game for a while. Because I was like talking with people, hey, could you help me with this? Could you help me with that? But the community is doing all right. However, when it comes down to opinions, I think you have a lot of questions about that later. So I'll just save that for that. Save that for that part of the interview. But for now, I can tell you the community. I like it because it's not all. I love the game. You're the best. There's also people that are like, this is terrible, and I like that. It really helps me grow as a writer because that's basically what I'm doing. So the community's fine, and I'm thankful for the attention that we've gotten. And as last thing, I know I went on for a long while on this one. Um, I recently uploaded like a screenshot of the game. The new scene that we have with the cliffhanger continuing, and
Mhm.
it got a ton of attention.
Yeah.
We got like 200 followers and a lot of like my phone wouldn't stop buzzing. We also got the original voice actress for Steph and
Mhm.
Kate to tell me that they really like the game. They haven't played it from what I know, but it's we got a lot of community attention.
Mhm.
It was so good to like receive compliments from the original Steph boys, like my
Yeah.
favorite character in the games, telling me, "Hey, this looks amazing." So the community is really good, but I don't think I expected anything else from the Life is Strange community, honestly.
Mhm. Yeah, that's cool. I've seen that recently that I'm not sure if I can say it here because everyone who is not on, I think it's Kofi you said, or I'm not sure, that you posted a survey for getting mentioned in the credits. But this is only for people who contributed, or because I'm not sure if anyone, maybe anyone would help you guys then and get on the train, but I'm not sure.
Right. I posted it, and that poll on Coffee is open to everyone. Anyone can see it.
Mhm.
It's just like a way of saying, hey, if you guys want to contribute, not only are you making the game better, but you'll get included there. So yeah, that poll is only for people that have supported us. Again, the people that have paid, well, not I don't like saying paid. That have like given us money to make the game
Mhm.
better. They get a little bit of like extra stuff. Just they get to see updates one day early. They'll get to play the game 3 days earlier than everyone else.
Mhm.
But it's just a little way of showing our thanks rather than excluding everyone. Because I don't care if people have like no money to give us or like if they give us $1,000. I really want for everyone to play the game.
Mhm.
Just to have it. When I was a child, I used to be really mad because I couldn't play a lot of things because I didn't have the money to buy them. And I think it's always cool to give back to the community. So, you guys have given us support. They have given us so many followers. So
Mhm.
just play the game, enjoy it, even if you don't have a way to support us. Although if you do, thank you all very much, and you'll get some extra stuff.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah. Okay, as you said, we're coming to the part of the coming to the feedback and input from the community. Yeah, I think I'm not sure if we spoiler anything, but maybe people can now play the game or just fast forward to the next questions after the spoilers. I think I started at the beginning. Yeah, as you said, there's the famous scene with Max and Chloe at the cliff from the end of the game. I really have to say, I think I almost like all sprites from Rubik Draws. And I like all their sprites. The Chloe sprite, I'm not sure, but I don't like it personally. But excited to see the new scenes, as you say. So, how was it received from the community then? The end scene from Max and Chloe.
So people, I've never received like opinions on sprites, except for like Max and Kate ones.
Mm-hmm.
People really liked having Chloe, but the one concerning issue is that I think people want Chloe in the game, but she's dead. So it's kind of, it's kind of hard. So Chloe was received very nicely because like she is in two different games. People know her a lot. People love her a lot. But in order for the Bay ending to happen,
Mm-hmm.
it cannot have Chloe in it. So that's like the only issue that we had with like people. Hey, is Chloe going to be there? Is Chloe going to, you know, and is she going to come back? She's not.
Mm-hmm.
She's mainly there to like, set up the premise for the game for the people that need like a reminder of what the game was like. That was why we also the only other thing is that some people were confused about why the beginning of the game was like so loyal
Mm-hmm.
to the original one. Because I remember while writing it, I had like the ending of Life is Strange 1 on my computer, like watching it and describing it myself, like in the visual novel. It's mainly just because we wanted to like remind people of what the ending was like, because some people never played the Bay ending. Apparently, some people always played the Chloe ending. We have to like showcase it a bit, make people more familiar with this ending because I think some people just don't like it.
Mm-hmm.
But Chloe was received nicely, even if some people are going to be really, really disappointed with seeing that we're not bringing her back to life.
Maybe it's the same with Rachel, because I think she was not, there was no sprite, or there, I think she's not explicitly mentioned, but I think Max got a little box from Steph with the DVD, and there I think Rachel was shown, and yeah, there was a little, I think, closure to Rachel's story, and I really liked it. So you got feedback from the community there, or?
The one thing with Rachel is that some people wonder. I didn't get too much about her, mainly because she's not a part of the game.
Yeah, sure.
Chloe is. She's at the beginning, and she comes back sometimes. She comes back very often in Max's thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
But Rachel, she's, in my opinion, it doesn't matter how important she was to Chloe.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Max can relate that heavily to her,
Mm-hmm.
so she doesn't come. She doesn't come on very often. We're not having any sprites of her. She's not going to be a part of the story in any really
Mm-hmm.
meaningful way, apart from like Chloe related stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So, on that side, people really didn't tell me much about her, which is okay because I didn't want to like have any attention put on Rachel and Chloe because some people,
Mm-hmm.
the one big drama that I was a big part of was like people fighting over if Max or Chloe or like Rachel or Chloe.
Sure.
I don't want to step in like murky water by like saying, yeah, this is terrible or hey, this is great. So, I just stuck to what was in Before the Storm, which is my
Mm-hmm.
favorite scene in all of the Life is Strange games.
Mm-hmm.
The Tempest. The Tempest is a really powerful scene in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
I used that scene mainly as again, as you said, like some kind of closure to what was happening in Chloe's mind. She thought that she was nothing special, and then she had someone like Rachel come in, and then Max starts to think that everything is really unfair because she was lonely, and then Rachel died, and she was even lonelier, and then Max came, and and then she went away. So it's just like I like to put that scene in to like focus on how lonely Chloe was,
Mm-hmm.
and she was misunderstood, in my opinion. She had her best friend go away, and then she had her father die, and then she had Rachel go away, who was like her last hope, at least from what was showcased in Before the Storm, because I played through it.
Mm-hmm.
I played through Before the Storm and Life is Strange 1 again, just to like grind the games. So it's it's kind of hard, you know, putting all of that in, but I think we did a good job with.
Mm-hmm. As I said, as you also said, Steph was introduced with this little scene with Max. I think, will we see her again? Or? I'm not sure if you want to spoil that, but I really liked the scene. And what did people say about her?
The one thing is that I think people really wanted to see her more, but in my opinion, every chapter is structured in a really specific way. Chapter 1 is to introduce you to Max's conflict. A lot of it has to do with her thinking about what she could have done, having a lot of regrets, trying to get rid of Kate because she feels guilty about what she did.
Mm.
You know, because in the universe of Life is Strange Aftermath. So imagine your average playthrough of Life is Strange, but you didn't manage to save Kate. That's like the big thing. You chose the Bay ending, but Kate died. So Max feels really guilty about it, and she tries to get rid of her. So that's a problem. Chapter 2, however, has a really really big focus on like Max and all of the other characters around her.
Mm.
So you're going to see a lot of stuff. You're going to see a lot of Victoria. You're going to see a lot of extra stuff that you're going to find really, really nice.
Mhm.
Chapter 3 is just like granting closure to everything. But I don't want to. I don't want to spoil too much. It's just that in Chapter 2, Kate is not as present as you might think she is.
Mhm.
You're going to see a lot of. I can guarantee a lot of Victoria, a lot of Steph. You're going to see Mikey, Warren a little bit. He's not a very popular character apparently. So but yeah, people really liked Steph. They thought that she was really cool. I really liked the sprite, for example. And if you liked her in Before the Storm, in True Colors, you're going to like her here. I
Mhm.
promise. She's like the one character that I had the most fun writing. She's my favorite character. And I try not to be too biased, but I'm just going to say, depending on your choices, you might see a Steph a lot more, or you might see Victoria a lot.
Coming to Max and Kate back again. What I know this from a lot of fan fiction stories. So this time is about the other way around. So Max don't realizing what Kate really feels, or maybe feels. I don't know. But what did the fans say, or how was it received that Max is so? I think it's understandable that she don't get the clues from Kate because she's grieving and on her own and don't want to hurt Kate. What did people say about this, about their story?
So, what I told you that people hated the game sometimes? This is the problem. Kate. It's not even Max.
Okay.
So, obviously the big focus of the game is Max and Kate. It's a Marshfield game.
Yeah.
And I don't think that people quite get that. So, I know the question is about Max not realizing what Kate feels or what she even feels.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to spoil the ending of the game because there's different endings and stuff. But the game is fan fiction. And obviously there's like a romantic feeling to the game.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem is that people don't quite get that in order to make this game possible, you have to bend things a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
If I were to go by what canon says,
Mm.
then
So.
Victoria would never really get along with Max at all.
Mm.
Steph would never see Max
Mm-hmm.
because she doesn't even know her.
Mm-hmm.
You know, fucking. And Kate would never be romantically interested in Max because she's religious. So the one thing that made me frustrated is that people said that this was a really, really different Kate to the one in Life is Strange.
Mm-hmm.
And it's understandable that they are saying it, but it's hard to know the why. Because I got a lot of people telling me that it was not her, but they didn't really say why. They just said, no, this is not good. So it's hard to like deal with criticism that is not based on anything. And I don't mind being criticized. Like, trust me, I had like 5 different people read the original script and it was terrible. So I had to rewrite the whole thing, right? So I'm not new to this whole criticizing. I get paid for this kind of stuff, grinding. So I'm used to it. I'm basically making like a new reality. This is fan fiction. So Kate and Max weren't really well received because some people thought that Max wouldn't act like this when Chloe died, that Kate would never be like she is in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Some people got really mad at that Max was like rejecting and pushing Kate away, like trying to get rid of her.
Mm-hmm.
I think that comes from like a misunderstanding of what I'm going for because my intention is just Max trying to get
Mm-hmm.
Kate away from her so that she doesn't hurt her anymore. And she feels guilty because, she basically killed her
Yeah, yeah.
because you can't save her, right? So it's really tough. Max and Kate were received. I don't want to say with mixed opinion because an overwhelming majority liked the game. I got a lot of people telling me that they cried, which hey, I don't know if, if that's true, but some people really really enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
For example, like I said, example in specific YouTube videos, for example, that I got
Mm-hmm.
because they got recommended to me.
Mm-hmm.
I saw people that really didn't like it. Some others really did. Some people were saying, like, is this an official game? And it's not an official game. Come on. Right? Like, I think I would be too lucky to get like a don't nod blessing. Like, yeah, make a visual novel. That's not how it works. But, Max and Kate, I personally think that I did well. But hey, if people have different opinions, you're welcome to tell me why. And, it's just, you got to remember that it's a Marshfield game and that has a lot of implications with it.
Mm-hmm.
Some characters are going to be naturally very different because it's my interpretation of them.
Yeah.
So Victoria, you don't see her a lot, and when you see her, she's like an absolute bitch to you. you know, you don't see Steph at all in Life is Strange One. So I want to push out the parts of the characters that I don't think were seen a lot. For
Mm-hmm.
example, I want to see more intimacy between Max and Kate, who are basically best friends, but they never talk in Life is Strange One. I want to see the nicer side to Victoria because like during Dark Room, you see that like a little moment that she has with Max, which is like, I've been terrible to you and I'm sorry. Like, she regrets it. It's more Steph because you only see her like when she's all grown up and like only when you're like before the storm, right? You don't see her a lot. And I want to explore more of like her feelings towards Chloe's death, which was explained in Wavelengths. And I really like that part of the DLC for True Colors. It's a lot of things that I want to manage, and naturally, when you're writing fan fiction, some people are going to like it, some people are not going to like it. But overwhelmingly, I think Max and Kate were received very nicely. And the only complaint that I got is that we didn't finish the game because they wanted to see more of Max and Kate. So, people are going to have to wait. But I think it's mixed, but mostly positive.
I think I can a little bit understand it because I was also new to the fandom, and it was surely was for me, yeah, Max and Chloe. And only after I read some fan fictions, I got really liked the Marshfield ship. So, but yeah, as you said, not everyone will get over it. So, but that's okay, I think. Yeah, I think you already knew that there's a the famous cliffhanger at the end of the chapter. Maybe we can talk about it a little bit about the new chapter. So I just want to mention that I really like I'm not sure that if it's called music, but I like the background music or the background, and it was really nice. But I'm not sure if somebody complained there. Maybe I think I saw some mentions say, "Why don't you use the original game's music?" or something like that. But of course, this is not possible. Sure, but you received some feedback for the music.
Towards the cliffhanger, it was like kind of hard to choose what music to do. As a little funny thing, before the cliffhanger, there's like the scene of Max and
Mm-hmm.
Kate walking towards the building, and they have like a little romantic moment, like they hold hands for a bit. That moment didn't exist in the original script. The original script, it's it's a whole different beast. Like a lot of things happen. Uh, Max is like depressed as like she's completely depressed. Like, oh god, the original script is terrible. I hated it. But about the cliffhanger and music, I don't remember seeing anything about the music.
Mm-hmm.
The one thing is that I saw like this one weird YouTube channel upload the entirety of the main menu music without like my permission, which made me a little mad, but that's okay. I cannot, as you said, use the original music for the game because I think Don't Nod or like Square Enix, it's going to be over. Okay, so I don't want to get in any mess. all of the music is credited in the credits. Obviously, it's royalty-free music. For as surprising as it is to hear, it's all free.
Mm-hmm.
We spent a lot of like at least 2 days worth of like time looking for music that fit the game.
Mm-hmm.
And being like a super big fan of visual novels, I think I have like a good ear for like what fits what moments in the script,
Mm-hmm.
and I think people like the music. I also got people telling me that they really like the music at the beginning of the game, the main menu music.
Mm-hmm.
The main menu music is completely original. We made it for the game.
Mm-hmm.
Our artist, one of our composers who made Taco Salad, which is one of the names of the songs that you're going to hear. The very first song that you hear is probably Taco Salad. They are called Ari, and then we have Hello Goodbye, which is another track that you can find in the main menu. That one's also original. I really like the songs. I like them. And I think people like the music. I don't remember seeing anyone telling me to use the main menu, the main game music. It would be really hard. We would have to like cover it, but I don't know any musicians, so you know, it's I would love to like include some stuff like I don't know, like an acoustic cover of like Spanish Sahara, for example. That would be amazing. So I cannot quite do that, but people really like the music, at least from what they told me, and they found it to be nice. So I'm happy with that. As for the chapter ending in a cliffhanger, yes, it did, but you know, you have to like create expectation, and chapter two will pick right up. Like it almost feels like a sentence, like the sentence follows right after chapter one. So you guys are going to like see what happens right after, so you're not going to get like, oh, it's suddenly 2 weeks after and something happened. No, everything's going to like be very continuous in the game.
Okay.
Get excited for that. And there's going to be like a little intermission between chapter one and two. You're going to see a little screen, so you guys are going to like find it pretty nice. I promise.
Okay. Okay, we are excited. I just wanted to say that I really liked some of the background drawings. I'm not sure if some look like if they are copied from the game, but I think this is not the case. Of course, you wouldn't do that. And they are really good. I think there's also a team member of yours that did the background drawing. I think they did a really good job, I say. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Our background artist was also going to be doing. If you're a part of the coffee,
Mm-hmm.
then you also see it on Twitter. You see some of the backgrounds and some of the like process that we went through to make them. I posted like a picture of like my background artist making like a little paper mock-up of what the school was going to look like. So
Mm-hmm.
it's super fun to like make that kind of stuff. I did not do it. That was all my background artist. Ari, she's an amazing artist. I absolutely love her work. Um, and yes, you were quite right, although you didn't think it. Some of the backgrounds are taken from very early concept art of the game.
Mm-hmm.
Like Life is Strange 1 has some really cool concept arts, for example, for like the beach and stuff. Those are placeholders. We're trying to get like actual art in the game, but I looked for it and I didn't see that there was like any problem
Mm-hmm.
or like legal issues with using those images. I went through like so many articles to read if it would be okay to use them or not, and I think it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
And also, for example, this other Life is Strange visual novel, it's Love is Strange. Also basically used the same images. They just did like,
Mm-hmm.
so if you put the concept art and their art, it's basically the same. It's just
Mm-hmm.
you notice that an artist made them. It's just really detailed. So I think it should be okay to use them for now, and we fully intend on replacing those.
Mm-hmm.
For example, we now have the beach, we have the hospital, which I just got, so I'm excited for that. Um, you guys are going to see a lot of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Get excited for that. My background art is really good, and yeah, some of them are concept arts, but I think they look pretty good, and we're going to change them soon so that the game is 100% original.
Mm-hmm. Okay. As you said, choices do matter in Life is Strange, and as you said, you also want to, when I focus on it and on the next chapter. What people say about the choices in chapter 1? I think there are 2 choices. I'm not really sure. But I think I found them very hard myself. I have to think back of the original Life is Strange. So what do people say about about the choices?
So the one thing that I can tell you is that people like the choices.
Mhm.
The one thing that they didn't know is if they were going to matter, but now we know that they're going to. I'm. It's a complicated topic. Mainly because in some visual novels, depending on like the choices, it can be like a lot more content or a little content. So, for example, the scenes change a lot depending on what you choose, and I like that. Like you get a lot of extra stuff. For example, if you take the picture, if you don't take the picture, then you get another feeling for the scene. It's very different. However, choices are going to matter a lot. So, for example, depending on what you said in chapter 1, you can get a different dialogue in chapter 2, and that goes for like stuff in chapter 2.
Mhm.
For now, and I think it's a good moment to talk about this, there are going to be 4 endings in the game. You're going to have a bad ending, depending on your choices. It's going to be a sort of point system. So, if you get enough points with Kate by the end of the game, then you get the good ending. And if you get bad, if you don't get enough points, then you're going to get a bad ending. However, some choices that you choose, even if they don't give you points, they will give you specific scenes.
Mhm.
So, choices are going to matter quite a bit. And, depending on a choice in chapter 2, which is going to like take you with like a specific person or with another one, you're going to get a different good ending. There's 2 good endings and there's a bad ending.
Okay.
And then if you play through the entire game, you get the bad ending, the first good ending, and the second good ending. Then you're going to get an epilogue, like a secret ending.
Ah.
That's a way to like get people to play through the game a little bit more. See all of the options that they have. Just experimenting a little bit. Right now, I'm working with my coder to like make more things that change with choices. So, for example, hey, at the beginning, I didn't quite think about that in chapter 1, but in chapter 2, I'm trying to get more choices in the game, more depending dialogue, and in chapter 3, you're going to see that a lot. Choices are going to matter. Obviously, I cannot make a system quite as complicated as Life is Strange 1 because we're just working with a visual novel, and if I make too many choices, then the game will be very, very different. And I want to like, I don't want to make it very long. I know that some people took like an hour and a half to finish the first chapter, and I don't want it to be extremely long.
Mm.
Although chapter 2 is kind of long. It's like 93 pages.
Okay.
It's a lot of stuff. However, choices are going to matter a lot, and I think people like them. I think it's important to get you guys to like have you change the game as you please. Like, hey, this choice I don't quite like it. Let me do this. Or hey, I want to get this ending, so let me do this. Right?
Mm.
You guys are going to get a lot of cute stuff, and I think you'll like it.
Already told all the feedback of the game, good and bad feedback. Do you want to add anything to that feedback, or?
Not for now. I think the feedback was really nice. We got a lot of support. Some people that didn't quite like it, but everyone seems to be really excited about playing chapter 2.
Mm.
I'm really excited to release it because I have some scenes over there that I really really enjoyed writing, and now that I read them, I like them. Also, I played like like an early build of the game, working with my coder, and I really like how everything looks, how everything works. People really liked like the letters because the font that we made for the game, you're not going to find it anywhere else. That is a custom font that we had made by Julia, our background artist, and my streaming partner. It's the game has been very very well received, and I always wanted to like to make a visual novel, and having feedback like this makes me very happy. We got really good feedback. So thank you everyone for that.
Anything you want to add for the new chapter? I think you don't want to spoil too much, which is absolutely okay. You already said a lot of stuff that will change and a lot of stuff that will be in chapter 2. So anything we missed today?
The only thing that I can guarantee is that we're going to have some new music for the game. You guys are going to like it. I think the composer that is really really good. You're going to get the CG with Max and Chloe at the beginning. So
Mhm.
also, the one thing that I do have to warn, and I'll make sure to warn everyone like 30 times if it's necessary, you're going to kind of have to play through the game again. Well, not again. I mean, you're going to have to make your choices again because in order to implement the consequences for the choices, we're going to have to like delete the save files or it's not going to work.
Mhm.
People will have to do that, so watch out for that. However, it's going to be worth it. And next time when we release chapter 3, this won't happen. You're going to see Rebecca or a new original character. I always wanted to create an original character, so that is the one character you're going to see. Only in this game, you're also going to see Mikey, who's a new character we wanted to introduce. You're going to see, again, new music, the Max and Chloe CG, the T date scene, and then we have the Dungeons and Dragons scene, which
Mhm.
might bring a
Yeah.
lot of cool flashbacks to before the storm. I didn't know how Dungeons and Dragons worked, so I had to like watch a lot of videos and watch. Oh, it's such a complicated game, but okay. We also are going to have a new menu, hopefully by then.
Mhm.
It's going to be very, very similar to the old one, but we had some cute exceptions, which will like the more progress you make through the game, the more the menu will change. So I'm sure you guys will like it. We're also going to have again a credit scene because in the original game it's just like a black screen with text. But don't worry, we're going to have a custom one made by Julia. So it's going to look a lot cuter. We're going to have the coffee and itch.io supporters over there.
Mhm.
That's good. You're going to see, the work of our new programmer, which I'm really excited to show you guys just some of the stuff we can make. And I think that we're working on a way to like introduce models, like the sprites moving. So, for example, if Max says, I got closer to her, then you might see her moving closer towards Kate, for example.
Ah, okay.
I'm excited for that. You're going to see, again, Victoria. You're going to see two different paths on this chapter of the game. And you're going to see a little bit more of Max and Kate growing closer towards the end. Although, if you want to see all of that, if you want to see how the whole relationship concludes, then you're going to have to play until chapter 3. However, there's a lot of new stuff that we're working on. And in chapter 3, I think we're going to get even more stuff. Get excited for all of that.
Wow, that sounds like a lot of stuff and a lot of fun. And yeah, we're happy to see the outcome of then chapter 2. I have one question. Maybe you don't recognize it anymore from the last interview. You say you wanted to play Life is Strange 2. I think you didn't do it because I think you have enough on your plate. But did you play Life is Strange 2 already?
I didn't quite play it, but I got really familiar with it. So I had to like read a lot on like decisions on the game. And for example, I got really familiar with like the theory. Well, not even the theory, just stuff about Max and Chloe in chapter 2. Well, sorry, in Life is Strange 2.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, they like traveled to New. There's like a theory that they went to New York after the ending of the game. So I am familiar with it. I haven't quite played it. I've been getting into some other games, but nothing Life is Strange really. Some people have told me that it's really good, and I sure hope so because I played Wavelengths and True Colors again, and I really like the game. Although some people really don't like True Colors, and I can kind of see why because I think True Colors has like the best characters, but not the best story. It's a really good game. However, I'll check out Life is Strange 2 once I'm done with everything related to the visual novel. We're long overdue on releasing it. I'm excited to just do it already.
Everything is fine. Yeah, that's absolutely okay. So Life is Strange 2 will wait for you. So no, don't worry. Of course, you're finishing chapter 2, and chapter 3 is also on the way in the future. Of course, I think in the last interviews you said some projects you have or some future plans and ideas. So did change anything of that, or do you currently plan only for the next 3 to 6 months? So, or are there already projects in the future?
So for now, obviously, I'm entirely focused on this aftermath. However, I am working on the other visual novel that I'll post about later. I am not the one making it. I am just the writer. I am the main writer for it. It's a big project. Although, it might be a little really sensitive to some people. There's a lot of adult material in it, but it's a big project. Like we have voice actors, a lot of backers, a lot of writers and coders and marketing. It's a big project, but it might not be quite your cup of tea if you're not into that kind of stuff. And I still have in mind, or I at least still want to get more people into the team and hopefully make another visual novel.
Mm-hmm.
I've been thinking about something for True Colors because I really, really, really like True Colors.
Mm-hmm.
Probably something between Steph and Alex because they are so fucking cute together. Although I cannot guarantee that it will be something Life is Strange related. But we'll have to see. It's just, I have college and work stuff. So, and I don't know if I am quite ready to do as much spending as we did for the beginning of the game because this was hell expensive.
Yeah, I can only imagine.
But again, there's going to be more projects from Retrozone Studios. Don't worry much about that. It's just going to take either a little bit or a long bit. However, I do plan on streaming with my partner Julia. If you guys want to go over there and check some of the stuff that we're planning on doing, you can go. You can absolutely go and do that.
Yeah, we are reaching the end of the show, and yeah, is there this time anything you want to say to the community or leave a statement?
Well, the only thing I want to say is, we've taken a long time, but I think that we have a good excuse as to the why. Again, I don't want to be explicit with this one, and I did say it when it happened. Even if Como is no longer working with me, the amount of work that they did was amazing, and they were not even like super familiar with coding. Like it was like one of their first experiences in a project, and they did really, really good. So I want to thank them for their work, and I don't want people to think that it was, something bad. It happens. It's kind of normal stuff. But I again thank them for the work that he did. If it weren't for him, the project wouldn't exist. However, do welcome our new coder, Rami. They are really talented. They've been working with me every single day, even when they have work and stuff. So they are an amazing part of the team. And every single one in our team, honestly. So I may get a lot of the attention because I am the one doing the speaking, coding. Well, not the coding, the writing, sorry. I am the one that you see on the Tumblr, the one that you see on the coffee. I'm the one you see everywhere. I get a lot of attention because you're also reading what I wrote. But trust me, this project wouldn't be what it is. People wouldn't have liked it as much if it weren't for the people that not only did what they were asked, but even more. For example, Julia was not even. We're planning on using like her normal as font, but then she did it for us. The sprite artist did some extra sprites, even if she didn't have to. Ari is going to be working on the sprites, even if she only has to do the background. A big thanks to my team because they are amazing. And a big thanks for the community. For a while, I was worried that people wouldn't be really happy when I came back. But seeing the amount of support that we got, seeing people as big as the Steph voice actors and Kate voice actors being there for us, that is some amazing stuff. So thank you, everyone. Again, you'll be able to play Life is Strange Aftermath Chapter 2 very soon. Get ready for your decisions, for your choices. I'm sure you'll love this second part of the game. If you like the first part, I can at least assure you that the second chapter is better. And again, just keep following us, keep giving us some of the love that I think these talented people deserve. It's really fun being at the head of the project. Thank you, everyone, for the support. And again, if you want to support us even more, you can, when you download the game, even if it's on the web version, you can donate as much as you think the game is worth. If you join our coffee, then you'll get some early access to the game 3 days earlier, as well as any art or posts that I might make there that are exclusive for the people on there, as well as getting included at the end credits of the game. I hope you guys like that. And that's it. Thanks to you for including me on the podcast again. I hope that it was a fun experience, regardless of if I was doing most of the speaking. And well, that would be it. Thank you, everyone, for the attention and support.
Yeah, thanks, Biscuit, for your time. And yeah, we're excited, of course, to see the new chapter and all the stuff that will go into it. And of course, the team behind it. And yeah, maybe we can talk in the future. But I wish you good luck for your project. And yeah, thanks and have a good evening. See you then.
Thank you.
This episode will come to an end now. You can send in your questions you have via email or Twitter to me. Of course, you can also send me wishes for future interviews and topics. Thanks for listening to my podcast and spread the word. See you soon in and around Acadia Bay, Puerto Lobos or Haven. Yours truly, Martin.